Hi guys, welcome to Learn Electronics Repair. Let's look at some more lovely car booty. So this is a PC in a beige case, as you can see, a couple of optical drives in there, CD writer, DVD writer, beige and looks like grey probably on this video, but it's actually kind of a silver colour. Okay, accesso uno, yeah, so that's what we have here. But this isn't really a retro machine, although it sort of looked like one when I saw it, when I bought it, yeah. But in fact, this is 775 machine with PCIe, not the sort of thing of any interest at all really. G31 motherboard, I'm sure that is a 775. Motherboard is loose, no IO shield, it's rusty. Why did I buy it? Well, it came as one of a lot of PCs at a fixed price, and that's what I ended up with, yeah. So we can have a quick look and see what we have here, but I don't think it's really the sort of thing I wanted to buy. It's just the sort of thing I accidentally ended up with, yeah. But let's take a look. So here it is with its graphics card, Asus EN210, GT210, silent, 1 gig. Yeah, see, it's got the HDMI and the other connectors on. Gigabyte GA G31M-ES2L, very common sort of thing. It is a 775 motherboard, as I thought, and really a bit messy. I mean, this might be useful for some bits, probably not for some bits actually. It might be useful for when I'm making videos, just practicing sort of soldering and generally messing about with stuff, yeah. So we will just check if there's any shorts on the 12 volt, and if it isn't, let's just plug this in and see if it works. And if it doesn't work, well, I'm not too bothered, to be honest, but yeah, let's have a look. Let's make some fun of it, yeah. Okay, so ohms range, 12 volts connector. That's probably the ground side of it. Ground. So is this the 12 volt? Oh! No. I thought I had a short 25k. Yeah, it reads high. Thought for a moment then we had something interesting actually, a VRM short, but we don't. Just go on to the MOSFETs themselves. What do I see here? Yeah, that must be the 12 volt end. This must be the CPU, which will be low. No, it isn't actually. Oh, there are more MOSFETs than I thought down there actually. But there's no short on it, so let's just plug this in and let's see what we have. Actually, I'm quite interested just to see if such a grubby, dirty, scutty old motherboard actually just works, yeah. So let's put some power on. And we can say it works. Well, it starts and it's bleeping. 3. Take the graphics card out, we get the same. Let's have a look. So, code 1, 2, 3. Looks like it doesn't like the RAM, but it could just be dirty. Reset it and then we'll try it in the other slot. Well, it didn't do that anymore. One blip, yeah. So without the analyzer card plugged in, I think we might have fixed this one actually. Let's have a look. So graphics card. Okay. What have we got? Thinking about it. Huh, one bleep. No picture though. Okay, that's on the capture card. Take that off there. Plug this into the card. Okay, there it is for a bit of visual stimulation, yeah. I've just connected the cable to the HDMI on the capture card. What does it do? Well, interestingly, that reads 0. Maybe it's just decided to know there's one bleep, so it's obviously booting up. Just doesn't give a picture. Seems to be a bit of a bad connection actually on that to me. I've connected the onboard VGA, just hit S out. Okay. All the terminals look clean. I don't think that's what the problem is. Could be a dirty slot, of course. Let's see if this works. And I'll put this in the other slot where I can reach with the onboard VGA. Okay. Interesting, this does not seem to work with the analyzer. That's interesting itself. Blue light on the monitor, and we have a picture. So obviously this is actually working. It's in the BIOS now. Yeah, and now it's tried to boot. There's no hard drive. So obviously this is working. Doesn't work with the post analyzer. Interesting. Wonder why that would be. I mean, there's nothing to say they have to put the codes out on the PCI. We could try the other analyzer out of interest. Oh, would you believe it? It now says C1. I mean, I didn't do anything. I just minimised that screen and it just changed to C1, which is a RAM fault. This thing just got dirty PCI slots. Is that what the problem is? Yeah, it looks like it is, and that's why the analyzer card didn't work. Okay. Yeah, in the picture you can see it. Okay, so one very dirty, grubby board. Just goes to show that this dirt and stuff isn't generally conductive, so these things will work. Unfortunately, with no interest, I'll just throw this on the side of stuff to salvage from, and as I say, it might be useful for some sort of, demonstrating some principle or seeing if we can remove the North Bridge and resolder it without damaging it. In other words, will it still work afterwards, that sort of thing. Okay, so I'll use it for that, but I'm sure I can find something much more interesting to look at next. And this looks much more like it. I used to have a machine like this. We used to build them in these type of cases. So this is AT machine. This is the LED 7-segment display that would show you the megahertz. This is the turbo button that you use to slow the machine down. Yeah. So obviously an AT machine, very nicely populated with things. Graphics card down here makes me think that's a ISA graphics card. Has a LAN connector in. These will kind of be like on board basically, these connectors. They're probably just brackets. So there's probably actually only 2 cards in here. What do you think it is, guys? What do you think? Alyo or Algo? Not quite sure. Alyo, I think. Oh, but then like a Y in Spanish would be pronounced like a J, so Aljo. Okay. Can't really see inside there from here to get a clue. I mean, most of these machines I'm finding like this are Pentium machines, I'll be honest. So Pentium 1 in these AT cases. But I'm going to go out on a limb here and say this is a 486. Yeah, what do you guys think? Get your guesses here. Any clues that you could see that I should have spotted? Yeah, to tell me that one way or the other? Well, let's find out. Okay, what is it? I think it's a Pentium actually. I'm not sure. Oh! No! This is the only second such machine I have found. This is a Visa Local Buzz machine. Hence these very long cards and these strange slots. So this is a 486, I would say. That's only the second one I've found. Let me take all this apart and then we can have a good look to see what we have. We do have the hard drive here. So this is a complete machine basically. Obviously the casing is quite damaged, but it's complete. So the second ever Visa Local Buzz machine I've found, and the other one didn't work. So let's see what this one does. So let's have a look at what we have. 3 expansion cards. Okay, this is the LAN card, ISA LAN card. Okay, so 1 ISA LAN card. ROM socket. May actually be some interest in that on the retro market, strangely enough. I think having the ROM slot. I think there's something you can do with these that makes it boot an operating system from the card. Plug and play, Ethernet adapter. Okay, plug and play. This is like Windows 95 at least there. This was also plugged in. Now, this says side 2605. Because there's a little chart on here which is for serial ports. So we can see various addresses, yeah, for parallel port, not serial port. This has a couple of ports on it, but I've noticed that this bracket is connecting to here, and this bracket also connected over to here. So this has a game port, which is connecting to this board over here. Okay, this is the Super IO board, and this is probably a serial port. Yeah, UART2, but that is actually connecting to here, serial 2. I suspect that would probably originally have come from there. I don't see why you would have the bracket that goes across the 2. So this, I'm assuming, is just to give a second serial port and parallel port because we have them on there. Okay, so this is the Super IO. This is in the days before the IDE interfaces and the ports were actually built on the board. These are very long cards and a bit tricky to get them out, especially when they're old, I found, without breaking the sockets, but that's okay. What is this thing? Oh yeah, LED for the hard drive because the IDE interface is on here. IDE 1, IDE 2, floppy, game, and serial 2. So LCMV1 or VI0 VIO-3B. That. And then this, I have not seen one of these since a very long time ago. So this is a Visa Local Buzz Diamond Stealth. Are they worth something? Are there many of these left for VLB? And more to question, does anybody want them? Yeah. If there ain't many left and many people want them, then that means the price is quite high. That's the first one I've seen. Okay. These slots, by the way, there was master and slave on here, so you have that kind of like MCA 1, 2 and 3. This was quite common to put a spot of glue on the back end of them because these had the nasty habit of falling out. Especially when the computers were in transit. Okay. And there we go. So, shall we see if this works? I think so. Aha! It works! It works! It's a 486DX2 at 80 megahertz. Wow, Vista local buzz machine working. Okay. Yeah, keyboard worked. Disk boot failure, of course it has. Well, looks like about 40 meg of RAM or something on there. Maybe 2 16s and a couple of 4s, something like that. You don't suppose for 1 minute that this will work, do you? So this is the hard drive that's in the machine. Connor CFS425A. Probably a 420 meg hard drive, something like that. I mean, that would fit the era. I've never ever yet found one of these hard drives of this sort of capacity that works. But then I've never found a VLB buzz that works. But I've only ever found 2, so 50-50 in that case. I've had quite a few of these sort of drives and they don't work. Let's try it. So we have to connect from the Super IO to here because that is the interface. I have the cable that came with it. Let's see which is which. IDE1. Which I think goes this way round with the red strap towards the power connector because there's no key. But if it doesn't, all that will happen is that this LED will come on and stay on and the drive won't access, yeah. So it won't do any harm, I'm sure. So we'll connect the hard drive. You ready to listen for this one, guys? Let's see what we get. Or rather, let's hear what we get. Drive spinning. LED is off. Sounds okay. Boot disk failure. Let me try loading the CMOS settings or something here. Now let me put the screen on so you guys can see. I'm sorry about that, guys. There you go. So it's detected it. It is a 420 meg hard drive. Yeah, you see the parameters there. I'll tell you to skip the other drives because there aren't any. Okay, so we have the one drive. Load setup defaults while we're here. Oops, press yes. Defaults, okay. Save and exit, yes. What happens? No, boot disk failure. So it's reading the hard drive, it knows it's there. It sounds healthy enough, but it doesn't work. No, the drive isn't there. Maybe this is just my mistake. Let me go again. ID auto detection. Did I say? I maybe said no, yes. Ah, that was just me, guys, just making my life difficult. Okay. Is it there now? Yes. Just me and my overexcitement pressing the wrong buttons. What's it doing now? Listen to that. Windows 95. And no mouse. I don't have a serial mouse. I still need to solve this problem. Have you seen how much those sell for on eBay or AliExpress? Serial PC mice? Like, you know, a lot of money, 40 euros, 50 euros, something stupid like that. Yeah, no mouse. Okay guys, so we definitely have a working machine. I'll just shut that down. See? Okay, obviously it won't switch off because it's an AT machine. Oh, so here's some good questions, guys. First one, what's it worth? Does it have a model? Yes, it does have a model down there. SJDG486/3VLS. Okay, that's the board. So we can look for that. We have a number on the SIO card, and we know this is a Diamond Stealth SE VLB. So first of all, let's see what this is worth. I won't say if anything, because this is definitely going to be worth something of a reasonable amount. Yeah, let's check it out. Okay, so to start off with then, the hard drive. So these are the hard drives, the same one I have. There's 2 for sale, 3 for sale. Even the cheaper ones are £70, 86. Let's have a look at the sold listings. So we get the sold search. And I don't see any sold. I see them for sale. Are they worth £75, £80? I mean, I know they're quite rare to find drives like this working. How about the other things I have here? Well, the Super IO card is LCM VIO-3B. Okay, that's the Super IO card. What's it worth? Well, there's one for sale asking for £160 plus postage from the USA. There's some more there. There's one with a picture, £65 from Germany. So let's say that is more reasonable. Yeah, back to 130 again. Has anybody been buying these things? No. But you would assume that if somebody's got Visa local buzz machines, they need the cards. So can we say it's worth 65? Can we say the hard drive's worth a similar amount? Motherboard. So this is the SJ-DG486/3VLS. Okay. Sold listings. Well, something very similar sold there in September for £99 plus 37 postage from the USA. So that's sold. Yeah, that's sold. So we can say the motherboard's got to be worth £100. Yeah, that's because one's sold, so it must be worth that. And this graphics card, Diamond Stealth, I have some expectations for this actually. Diamond Stealth SE VLB. Whoa, £150 basically. Sold. Okay. Sold. So 150, 100 for the motherboard, 250. Even if I overestimated on the hard drive and on the Super I/O card, we're looking 300. Between 300 and, yeah, 300 plus pounds for this. I'm not sure about the little LAN card. Oh, it's got a model number on it, why not? XZ2841222. Okay. No, didn't find anything. How about ISA LAN card? ISA LAN card. Try that. Something a bit more generic. Yeah, 20. So I think that can tell me that's worth about 20. Yeah, something like that. I also didn't look for this either, this side 2605, but maybe 10 or 20 as well. I don't think I need to look further. This is all beauty. Yeah, I mean, £300 worth easily, based on ones that have sold for €15 at the car boot sale. The question is, and this is the dilemma, this is not the question, this is the dilemma now. Do I sell this little beauty or do I keep it? Do I sell it or do I keep it? I'm not in any desperate urge for the money that much that I'd say I must sell this, but it's a good amount of money if I do. How's the market going to go for this sort of hardware? Yeah. Retro guys, how do you think the market's going to go? Because nobody knows for sure. Yeah. I don't have a Visa Local Buzz machine in my collection. I have a select collection of 4 or 5 PCs that are retro, that are things that I like. I have a very nice ISA sound card. Like, in fact, I had that SB16 plug and play that would fit nicely in this that I had a week or two ago. Yeah. So, what would you guys do? Let me know down there, yeah? In the meantime, I have time to look at one more machine today. Let's see if that's anywhere near as interesting as this one. I doubt it because this, I think, is rare and it's interesting. Okay, let's look anyway. And here's the last one for today. So this is another AT machine. You can see there has a turbo button and an on button, so it's going to be an AT machine. This says 486, so this is a good clue what this one is. Yeah, 486 on the badge. So I don't think we have to guess what we have here. Obviously it's not in the best of condition. CD-ROM's broke. Oh, 5¼ inch floppy drive as well as a 3.5. Okay, so a 486. This has a graphics card up here, which makes me think that this one is a PCI machine, not another one of those VLBs. I'd be very surprised anyway because they seem to be quite rare. Comments, what do you think? I mean, we were building Visa Local Buzz machines around the end of 1993 into 1994, but by sometime in 1995 we were building PCI machines only, so they weren't around for very long, to be quite honest. There was a kind of a stopgap between ISA and PCI. But there must have been quite a few machines made at that time, so you'd think there would be quite a few of them around. Well, this is a 486 and this is a PCI machine. Now this is going to be interesting because I have 2 486s at once, 3 ISA slots in this, 1, 2, 3, 4 PCI slots. So let's see how these two machines compare in value. But the first thing, of course, I really need to do is to get this one apart so we can have a look to see what we actually have here. No, actually guys, I'm wrong. This is an early Pentium, it's not a 486. So although it says 486 on the front, it ain't. Yeah, obviously it was upgraded at some point, just kept the old case and the stickers. ATI graphics card, no sound card in this one. possibly an office machine to be quite honest, but not all PCs had sound cards back in those days. So let's take this one apart. It's a T machine, so it's definitely an early Pentium. Yeah, both types of RAM, EDO and PC100. Okay, let's have a look what we've got inside this one. And here is the motherboard, socket 7, so Pentium. I say Pentium 1, but there was a Pentium before these, which I've never managed to find one in the latter days, shall we say. I had one originally when they came out. There was a Pentium 60 and a 66, which were much larger than these. I can't quite recall if it was a Pentium 75 that was that size or not. Might have been. So I don't know what you would call that. If these, you call them Pentium 1, or maybe these are not called Pentium 1, but then the next one was called Pentium 2. So comments, yeah. If these were Pentium 1, what was the type before called that were Pentium? Anyway, the main thing I think we were interested to know was, what do we have here and does it work? So motherboard has a model number on, B583_1.2, so B583 version 1.2, that's the motherboard. It's still attached to the metal bracket at the moment, but that's fine. Don't see these very often. I do have a 486 DLC 40 machine that has one of these in, so this is a 5 1/4 inch floppy drive. Yeah, I think I have to put the disc in for that to go down, to be honest. As to whether these things work, I have no idea, because I don't have a 5 1/4 inch floppy disk to put in it anyway. Yeah, PCI LAN card, and this graphics card. So ATI, just ATI 264VT2, doesn't have a model as such, just ATI technology. Okay, oh, VC4301, maybe that's what it's called. Oh, sorry, VG3401. Interesting, at that time they didn't have like catchy names for graphics cards. Yeah, must have been something that came along later. They must have like realised that you had to have catchy names for graphics cards. Okay, pop that in there. Let's see if this wants to work. Okay, so we can see the analyzer. Be interesting to see if a motherboard of this age actually puts the code onto the PCI. Let's try it. Well, it's booting, so it does put the code on. This looks like it's going to work. Just change this to VGA. Yeah, Pentium 200MMX. Pentium 200MMX, 32 meg of RAM, EDO RAM. Obviously there was no hard drive with this. It's a 430TX motherboard. This is the motherboard. So guys, nothing to repair this week. Sorry about that. But I hope you like some of the hardware we found. I had a machine very much like this back in the day. It was a 200MMX. I think the processor cost like £300 or something. They'd just come out. And that was also on an AT motherboard, similar to this one. I had a Voodoo 2 in there with a graphics card. I think it was a Diamond Stealth PCI, I think actually. Diamond Stealth 64. So I could actually use this to build a very similar machine to that one I had if I wanted. That had an OR32 in. I do have an AWE32 again. So I probably have all the parts really to build a machine here that was like that one that I had. I had 80 megabytes of RAM on that one, so a couple of 32 meg strips giving me 64. And then a couple of 8s giving me another 16. It might be interesting to build a machine like that one actually. What do you think, guys? Put a Voodoo 2 on this, put an AWE32 on, and probably just keep this graphics card. Actually, I think it's very similar to the Diamond Stealth PCI I had. You know what to say, okay? So we can't boot it because it wasn't a hard drive, but we could have a look to see if we can find a value for this. I think these boards are probably only worth somewhere in the region of about £40, again, because there's no AGP on them, and it wasn't long after this you would have the Pentium with AGP. So I don't know. B583. I bet it won't find anything. No, it doesn't. Doesn't find anything like that. I can add the underscore 1.2. Well, that's a slot 1, so that's a Pentium 2 motherboard. That's another 440BX. 2 times Pentium, dual processor. None of these are like what I have. Sold items. No, nothing like what I have here. So, oh, is that like it? No, that's a 486 motherboard, okay. I mean, we can try something like Pentium MMX motherboard just to see what we come up with. More generic. Well, that's a Super Socket 7. That's something a bit different. I have a Super Socket 7 here, by the way. I know they fetch a lot of money. This is sort of like mine. Asus. Okay, maybe the brand is worth more. Sold for 100. Yeah, with the 233 processor. That's completely different sort of thing again. So we could say the only thing I have to go by is something like that. So it may be worth 100. That surprises me a little bit. Does it surprise you guys? So I'll get this graphics card. So this is the VG-3401. Nothing coming up. Let's try that with ATI in front of it. See if that gives us anything. Certainly nothing in the sold list is coming up. ATI, there's another number on it, we can try it. ATI -264 VT2, does that give us anything? Again, no. Let's try regular listings rather than the sold listings. So this is the VG-3401. No. VGA. No. Well, either I'm searching for the wrong thing here or there ain't many of these around. Let's have a quick look. VG-3401. Maybe it's actually called something else. PCI. No. Okay. So, do you guys know what this is? I can't find anything to say if there's any value. I can't imagine it's that rare that there just aren't any around. But yeah, I mean, this looks like your average Cirrus Logic type thing, but it isn't. It's ATI. Yeah. So, anybody know what that is? No other markings on the back that I can see. Well, let's have a quick look at this Pentium 200 MMX. Oh, it is the black and silver one. So this is like that I had. I like the stickers on there. This looks just like the one I had. Although I don't believe mine had the stickers on the heatsink. Okay. I hope you enjoyed that, guys. Sorry, nothing to fix. Must do better next time, yeah. I'll go back. Must try harder, see if I can find something that's actually broken with this old hardware. But I do think we had some nice machines. Did you have a favourite? Because I know full well my favourite was that V-Cycle buzz machine. First time I've seen one in these days that actually worked. And only the second time I've seen one at all. Okay. I look forward to seeing you all again soon on another Learning Electronics Repair video. Ciao for now, guys.